A world built on fantasy.
Most of these people are not ready to be unplugged.
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented.
Existence could be beautiful or it could be ugly. But that's on you.
You want to build something.
You're going to build something.
Just need to vote on it now.
I mean, look at all these people. They're free because of us. Because of what we did in this room.
G Micro Chains, everybody, and welcome to the Developer Workshop. It is November 4th. I'm here with my friends Matthew and James. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Hello. G Micro Chains.
G.
That was a dramatic entrance, by the way, with the movie.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I still get the goosebumps a bit. Yeah.
We make it very cinematic to start every single
It's a soundtrack,
Developer
isn't
Workshop.
it?
Yeah. Also, it helps people distinguish between the Developer Workshop and the Community Hour on Thursday. No POAP here at the Developer Workshop. In case you're confused, we just do that at the Community Hours on Thursday. Always first is right. Hello, everybody who's here. Thank you for joining us. Right on time, Roy Crypto and everybody else. What we're going to be doing today. So we're going to start by Matthew's going to go through some of the engineering updates. So a lot has been going on with the engineering team to upgrade the testnet, and we're going to go through all of that. Then, of course, we're going to jump into the Buildathon. We just completed wave 1 of 6 waves for the Buildathon. We got 93 submissions. I can say we were very, very pleased by what we saw. And we're going to go through a little bit about that, talk a little bit about the process, things that we've learned and how we're going to be improving it for the future. And then we're really just going to open it up for questions. So, the intention is not for you to get like specific feedback on your build, but rather, on your why did I get, what it's more about like, hey, building towards the future, you're trying to figure things out and we're here to answer technical questions. So just to be clear, that's really the intention of this. It's we want people to ask questions that are relevant to kind of everybody so that we can all learn how to program on Linera better. So it's real general questions about the protocol and how you can use it better. That's the intention for today. All right. So first off, we're going to head over to the Developer Workshop Notion page as created by Matthew.
Yes. Hey, everybody. All right. So we've been pretty busy, and I want to give some kudos to the engineering team. We did what most people are dreading the most, which is a database migration for our main validators, and we're very happy to report that the performance are definitely improved. There was a bit of congestion in the last few weeks, so we're starting to worry about, and we just identified the problem and solved it. So that was definitely a big thing yesterday. This weekend, and then culminating yesterday.
Can you explain real fast, why is a database migration such a dreaded thing?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks for asking. In general, because you can corrupt the data, and then you're very sad because then the data are corrupted, and so it means that, for instance, in this case, maybe the validator is dead, and we so of course, in the case of a blockchain, things are immutable, and so you make backups. But it could be that you in the process of destroying the validator and then restoring the backup, you maybe lose some of the latest work of people, and so that's really something that we want to avoid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So so we tested the thing like crazy, made sure everything was tight, and then rolled it out, and there was no big surprises. So that was good. Mhm.
Great.
And by the way, and so the schema, the new schema, essentially we found out that we were misusing the data, essentially this database, and not letting it scale horizontally as intended. So that's what we fixed. Mhm.
Nice.
So there was we were hunting bottlenecks, and we found one.
That's kind of what we're doing, hunting bottlenecks.
Yes, exactly. That's our job.
And then widening them.
And we did find something, or just making them disappear.
There you go. Break that bottle.
There's actually another bottleneck that is more. So if you don't know, we put out with the testnet Conway, we put out a nice portal and demo app called the Game of Life Challenge that has a number of puzzles.
Yep.
We found that one of the chains, a number of things we're using in the backend of this app to track the scores of people was indeed bottlenecked, and so there's another fix that we are going to release. That one is interesting. It's another thing that blockchains are dreading to do. It's gonna be a soft fork. So what's going to happen, and I want to stress this out to everybody that is listening to us and has some projects using Minera SDK, there's going to be a sort of mandatory update to SDK 0.15.5 when it comes out, most likely today or tomorrow. So we'll have a period of time during which people are supposed to, we'll have to migrate to SDK 0.15.5 or more. And maybe in 2 weeks or in 1 week, when after we've asked the community, okay, is everybody migrated? We will activate the fork, and for everybody that is migrated, for all the validators, everything's going to be just fine, and you won't see the difference. But then if you haven't migrated, it's going to stop working for you, like until you migrate and you recompile your app. And I'm talking about the front end, not the back end. We're not breaking smart contracts or anything. We're just changing the way the blocks are organized in the blockchain when the activation kicks in, which is whenever we feel ready. Okay. So just a long story short, migrate to watch out, because please stay tuned in the Discord channel when we announce the new SDK, and please migrate to it. It's not going to change anything for you guys. It's just allow us to activate this additional performance improvement in 10 days ish.
Sorry, that's happening in the next 2 days, or you said in the next 10 days?
So first, we made the SDK available, so today or tomorrow, and then when everybody has migrated. So we're gonna give some time for people to download the SDK to upgrade their front ends, right? And their tools, and then we activate the fork. When we activate the fork, it's gonna, for those that haven't migrated, it's gonna break.
Yeah. So for people who are building in the Buildathon for kind of wave 2, the recommendation will be to use this 15.5.
Yes, as soon as it gets out, for sure. Yeah. And of course, there's no trap. If it breaks when we activate the fork, we will tell you to upgrade. It's nobody's gonna get hurt, but it's just we want just the experience of everybody to be very smooth. So we're telling you in advance. We're certainly gonna tell our validators, and because that would be a problem in the case of validators if they don't migrate.
Yeah.
All right.
To be clear, the recommendation is always to use the latest version of SDK 0.15. We'll always try to keep it backwards compatible. So 0.15 will always be compatible with testnet Conway, and you should just always use the latest patch version of it.
That is true.
Yep.
So that is also true.
And then maybe I can actually do a better job at linking to the most recent SDK in Discord. So that's something that we'll do in the dev info.
Oh, it's
to make that very clear for people.
That's a great question. So how to find the latest SDK is very easy. You go to the developer manual, and that's it. That's the latest. The latest SDK is the one documented in the developer manual.
And do people have to like download anything, or it's just there?
Just follow the instructions in the developer manual. Like there's a hello world, there's the like how to get started, like quick start page or something. So this is where the SDK is going to be documented, and so so that's how you you find the latest SDK. In fact, if you
right now
we
it
are in the process.
This one.
Yes.
15.3 right now.
Right. We
Right. And that would be
used another one.
updated.
We used the 0.4 internally, and then we're gonna release the 0.5. Yeah.
You got it. Cool.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, that was a useful announcement actually. And then other things that we did. So speaking of the developer manuals, there you may find that there's some improved content like with diagrams, design patterns, and hyperlinks to source code examples that happen to be, in our experience, are very useful to understand how linear works. So that's they were long due to be linked in the developer manual. That's one thing, and then so I guess the latest another exciting announcement. There's going to be more puzzles in the game of life coming soon. I would say today, realistically, and there's a new expert one. So I just want to ask for forgiveness because we've been designing those puzzles. The expert one, I'll take responsibility. It's actually really hard, so please don't be mad. Okay, but there's a few hard ones that also are hard, but maybe not as hard as the expert one. But it's still doable. But we'll see how people. If people don't find it, then we'll add some hints. Maybe also we were floating the idea to have some AI agent connections. So that could be also another way to do it. We would have to document that, obviously.
Right. So the AI, there's no like AI agent.
Not yet. So that one is still doable. That one is still doable if you do some research. And I'm not going to say what kind of research I mean, but
cool. Well, that's exciting. Can't wait to see it. That's gonna be fun, and people will obviously get more points for it.
Yes, it's gonna happen around the same time as the SDK, by the way. We're gonna release the same things probably at the same time. And then what else can I say? So we're still mooring some of the validators. Then we're also working obviously on the main branch to improve the protocol, in particular, performance stability for app chain. So and then working on the benchmark, the announcements coming. But with the schema migration, actually, we are much closer to use the same configuration in our internal benchmarks and in the testnet. So that's pretty cool. I'm not saying that the testnet will have 1 million TPS, but I'm saying that it will be using the same software and the same configuration, and we could basically flip a switch and make it 1 million TPS if you want it, if it would be at any time. So that's something that is very satisfying. There was a new light paper that I announced on Twitter, so I won't to say much more about it. Maybe at another time.
Yeah,
but you can already check it out. And that was it for me.
Question about 15.5.
If we are breaking the APIs of the SDK, I don't think so. There could be one more argument to in JavaScript, but I think we're making it so that it's not breaking. James, am I forgetting anything?
That's right. Should be, I think, completely compatible.
Cool. All right. Feel free to ask any other questions. We're going to go back to our presentation and continue on through. Cool. So we launched the Buildathon about 2 weeks ago. And the purpose of the Buildathon, there were 3 different suggested areas for people to build. First was prediction markets, which we really do believe is an incredible use case for crypto in general, and specifically for Linera. Games and market infrastructure. We did see submissions across all 3 of these categories, and even some submissions that were kind of beyond these categories, which was also pretty cool. So let's talk a little bit about the judging process. So I sent out a tweet a little while we were still in the judging process. We had about 4 days to judge, which included part of the weekend. And we have to be honest, it was really hard. It was really hard to judge, both in terms of the volume of submissions that we received. The fact that because this was wave 1, we were saying that people are able to kind of not have a fully deployed functioning product, but rather kind of a plan for a product. That actually made our job a lot harder. And part of it also was the fact that, like, in the age of AI, right, you can make something look like it works without it actually working, or you can make it look like you've spent a lot of time working on a plan by just working on an AI prompt. And yeah, it just made the judging process much more difficult for all of us, and ended up taking more time than we had anticipated. And to be honest, we didn't get everything right. This was wave 1. This was the lowest dollar amount. And we want to do better in future waves. We are improving our process. And so if you are disappointed about the results from wave 1, first, I want to just acknowledge that and say we're sorry, and that we are committed to kind of doing a better job. So here's some of the things that, there were 93 submissions, which was incredible, really exciting. Some were incredibly creative and well thought through. We had 2 people from the marketing team and 5 engineers who are all working on this. We started by categorizing all of the projects into 3 different buckets: not ready, meets minimum, or promising: red, yellow, and green. And so we kind of divided up the projects, among that, and then each person kind of took a group of projects and put it into one of these different buckets. And then the engineer judges spent more time looking at the promising projects. So what were the results? We did not intend to create 3 equal buckets. It just kind of worked that way. Like, we're kind of surprised because, again, everybody kind of looked at separate projects, but it really just broke up into 3 practically even buckets of promising, not ready, and meets minimum. There ended up being 22 projects that earned points, therefore, like, some share of the 3,000 USDC, which turned out to be about a quarter of the submissions, all earned some cash prize, right? It also included 1 yellow and 1 red project, which the judges felt had been miscategorized, that shouldn't have been in red or yellow, should have been in green, and found those projects and ended up giving them points as well. So as I said from the tweet, even from before, we know that we miscategorized some. Some red and yellow should have been green. Maybe some green actually should have been red or yellow. Imperfect process that we're trying our best to do well. So what else? Guaranteed rewards. We really want to say thank you for everybody who's putting effort into building on Linera. This is kind of a small, there's a lot of content here, so I'll kind of walk through it. Basically, though, the idea is that we want everybody who's participating to feel like they're being recognized in some way, shape, or form. So even if it's categorized as a red project, you will get a POAP for participation. When you've submitted, you also filled out a little form with your wallet address. We're going to whitelist all of those wallet addresses. And then on Guild, you'll be able to mint your POAP. If the project was categorized as yellow, then you will also earn some XP with the Discord username that you included when you submitted. So there's going to be, 30,000 XP, 10x, whatever the cash prize was, divided among all of the projects for this round. If it was green, then you'll get a builder role, and if you get a winner, then obviously you will get a winner's pump up and a cash prize. So this is kind of the guaranteed reward structure that we've laid out. I'm going to keep going, and then we'll address questions. One of the key changes that we've made is we've updated the timeline to ensure that our evaluation period actually occurs during the week so that we can really devote as much time as possible to reviewing these submissions. What that also means is that you have a little bit more time to build. So before it was about 10 days for this next wave. We've extended that to be about 14 days for this wave 2. So all the way until November 16th. And then the evaluation starts on November 17th. As you know, this is the first time that we worked with Akindo, our platform partner for the Buildathon. It's the first time we've done a Buildathon. We haven't even done a hackathon in like a year and a half or something. Like, it's been a long time. And so we have been learning the Akindo platform and the building and the judging process along the way. One thing that we didn't realize at the first was the fact that everything is in Japanese standard time. And so all the times that we're a global team, right? I'm in California, James is in London, Matthew's in New York, right? We have other people who are in Central Europe. So we just got very confused around the timing of things. And so we are now very clear on that. But these evaluation phases, really, it starts at midnight essentially on in Japanese standard time, and then Japan standard time, and then goes for till the end of the day for the whatever final day you see here on the builder evaluation phase. So, okay, this is an updated timeline. This is also updated on the website itself, if you are curious. And then the last thing I'll say, and we might come back to this, James just dropped off, but he should be back in a second. We are going to have a little bit more requirements. Here we go. James is back. So we've increased the submission rule requirements to try to make our job a little bit easier to understand what works and how it works. So this could change slightly. We're still tweaking this, but James, can you speak to this a little bit?
Yeah. So one of the big problems we had when judging is that it just takes an awful lot of time to go through each submission and figure out how to build it, how to get to a point where you can really look at the running code, play around with the front end, etc. Right? And ideally, people will submit a live link, but I know there were some issues with the testnet at the moment that meant that a lot of people developed locally, and that's something we still want to support going forward as well. But then that implies that we need some kind of standard way to really easily be able to get to a place where we can inspect the running product, right? And there are security concerns for us as well, right? With nearly 100 submissions, some of these could be from malicious actors. We can't just run them on our own machines. So there's this whole process where you have to set up a VM, you have to get everything ready in the VM, then you have to run the submission, read the documentation to figure out what the build commands are and the run commands are, and only then you can start actually judging the output of the submission, right? So for the next wave, we'd like to ask that you produce a Docker container or a Docker file that will build and run your submission. So it gets it all set up, gets it all building, gets it running, has all the dependencies, etc., and gets an output in somewhere that's a CLI, if that's what you've done, or a web app or something like this that we can just connect to and start interacting with directly. Yeah, I will try to produce. I'll try to produce a template, I think, for the submissions that should help with this process for people helpful. Who aren't necessarily Docker experts. Yeah, save you guys some time as well.
That would be so helpful, James. Thank you. Okay, I think that was the last. The judging criteria is going to stay the same, right? It is definitely weighted towards a working demo and functionality and integration with Linera. Right? Yeah. If you build something that is just for a different blockchain, it's probably not going to be recognized as a winner, or even maybe in green. It really has to be built for Linera. We are a different architecture, and that is the point of this Buildathon. Is not just any Web3 app, but specifically a Linera Web3 app. So this is the judging criteria and how we look at things. All right. That is the presentation. Last thing I just want to say was make sure you get the developer role in Guild if you don't already have it, because that is the way to kind of ask to get direct feedback from the engineering team quickly. I know some people are responding on like a Telegram chat. That is not as effective at getting feedback as Discord. So get the developer role on Discord, and that's the place to ask questions. Okay. I am now going to open it up to questions for the audience. Please feel free to. Yeah.
And we had a few ones actually already.
Got a couple.
Yeah.
A couple
for sure. I saw this, and again, questions about kind of the process, whether what happened before or what's going on in the future, and more specifically about how to build on Linera. Okay. Matthew, where should we start? Should we start with this one?
There was the other one before. So from a long-term perspective, where does Linera see itself in the next 3 to 5 years in the Web3 world? I love it. It feels like we're being interviewed. So so Linera with the real-time blockchain, as you know, we've based on a very unique concept of microchains that makes Linera scale horizontally, at least make it possible to design applications that scale horizontally, which is truly unique. And we're finding that there are some domains in which that's really useful. One of them that we're really excited about is DeFi, and in particularly prediction markets. So that's why we're doing this Buildathon. So right now, if you ask us, I would say like there's going to be a lot of real-time prediction markets running on Linera. And it's going to be Linera would be the infrastructure that is really powering all of them and allowing them to give this awesome user experience, and allow people to interact with the prediction markets for all the things we like about prediction markets. They first, they are fun to use. They can help people make some money on the side, and they are also useful information for the world to consume, either in more financial products that could be existing on Linera itself or outside of Linera, or just the news, simply just aggregating information and providing better news to journalists, for instance, when it comes to elections or whatever event you want to have an opinion on, to aggregate opinions on. So here's my answer. The short version could go on, but I think we want the short version.
Thank you, our vibes. Okay, next question. Are new microchains created programmatically, or does the network automatically create them when there is traffic? Is there any example available that shows how this works? It's truly a question about the architecture.
In any of our examples. Microchains are not created automatically for you. They're completely under your control as a developer. So you decide how you want to divide up the state of your application into the different microchains. And it works a lot like a normal distributed application. If you're used to building P2P applications or things like microchains or microservice-based architectures, it's very similar principles, where you split up the state and keep the state as close as possible to the operations that are going to execute on it.
There's a view on Linera that, so Linera, as some of you know, is based initially like on research it was a payment system, and when we added programmability, so smart contracts, it evolved into this transparent microservice framework, which was totally not seen, like not foreseen, so which is pretty interesting.
Is there?
And that's now in the developer manual in the design pattern
I was going to say,
section.
Okay, so that's what I was going to pull that up or something. I'd love to show people where they can read about that specifically. Would that be in the developer manual? Where would someone go?
Getting started design patterns, I think.
Let's see.
Oh, sorry, no. Core concepts design patterns.
Core concepts.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me pull that up real fast.
So this is kind of a zoo, right, of some patterns that we found useful. There are more. Like building distributed systems is a massive topic, and there's lots you can read about it if you want to. But these are the basic ones that we found useful for most things.
I think you want the last page, another page in this section.
There it is.
Design
Okay.
patterns.
Bam. Okay.
And if you've been on this call, you may have seen those diagrams already a couple of times.
Right.
And notably,
core concepts.
Each one of them comes with a link underneath it to an example application that uses this pattern in the repository. Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you. Okay. Next question. Okay, there are some questions that are specifically around the portal, and I will address that separately. Okay, Shoop has a question. Exploring use cases with short-lived microchains, a few seconds, or temporary microchains. How much of their lifecycle creation, execution, cleanup is handled by Linera versus what developers manage manually?
So the initialization of no, that's not true. The chain, everything is handled by Linera. You call create chain or close chain, and Linera takes care of all of the implementation of that. For your applications on the chain, though, there are hooks that happen when the application is initialized, when the application is called, and when the call finishes that you can use to persist the state or other cleanup operations you want to do.
I think maybe the question is so another perhaps a related question would be about how blocks are produced in a microchain. So but for the short-lived ones, they will be typically produced by the users that are interacting with the microchain. So in a game of chess, using a short-lived microchain for the game of chess, and all the two chess players are going to be the ones, their client is going to be the one producing, the blocks in this microchain. It gets a bit more complicated for app chains, where sometimes we find out, I mean, that's kind of the current design, at least the current way we use them. We find out that having a service that is the external block producer is the fastest, is the most convenient way around. Okay, hopefully that was helping. We'll see. If there are more questions about this, we'll continue.
Matthew, we have another kind of like venture capital kind of type of question. How does Linera balance between speed and security and decentralization, the trifecta? What compromises have been made?
Great question. So if you are coming from the world of Ethereum, you would I guess short answer. So we're building an elastic system. We want applications to be able to scale elastically. To achieve that, we asking our own validators down the road to be elastic. So our own validators are going to be possibly larger, or much larger than a traditional historical blockchain like Ethereum. Although, so at least that would be the criticism if you are coming from the world of Ethereum. You would say like, oh, those validators are data centers. It's centralized. So that would be, so from a point of view of the author of this trilemma, they will say that the decentralization is the trade-off when they look at Linera compared to Ethereum. They like Linera has only, I don't know, 50 validators, right? Or I mean, right now we have tested as 25. We know mainnet is going to be somewhere between 50 and 100. So they will look at us and say like, oh, you don't even have like thousands of validators. You're centralized. So so I think this is the kind of the answer I would expect from somebody coming from the Ethereum community. Now, this being said, the world has completely changed since the yellow paper. So we're saying that all the modern blockchains are prioritizing performance because that's what people want, especially the user experience. In order to do so, they're using large validators. Even if they are not elastic, they're already using very large validators. They tend to be putting them in the same data centers in one city. True story. So they are there are big trade-offs and decentralization happening for blockchains that are less scalable than linear. So I think we've got a pretty sweet trade-off ourselves. And the decentralization, it's still a textbook proof of stake system. And so it's going to be very strong with a strong Nakamoto number.
Cool.
A really important question there, Danny.
Should we? Okay, fine. I am somewhere between the ages of 23 and 43. You can figure that out yourself.
So you said it's then.
I didn't say it was in the average of the two. I just said somewhere in between. All right. Okay. Igor Bull has a great question here as well. Okay. I want to ask about games. Do you expect the game to be completely on microchains, or is it possible to use WebSockets where very frequent data updates are required? Good question.
It's totally up to you. If WebSockets make sense for your application, then that's fine. We will be grading applications to some extent on Linera integration, right? How tightly how much of the Linera infrastructure you're using to build your application. So that's part of the mark, but it's not all of the mark. And if you want to submit something that uses some external services to get some kind of better experience in some way, then by all means go for it. You saw the breakdown of the marks earlier. There were, I think, 30% available for Linera integration. We will require that you use Linera to some extent, but if you want to use third-party services as well, it might hurt your mark on that category, but maybe you can get the marks back on a different category. I don't know.
Matthew, can you address why we chose Rust as the programming language?
Rust is amazing. We are Rust maximalists in our team. Although we added support for Solidity on top of the EVM recently, and it's on the main branch if you want to experiment with that. Not yet in the testnet though. I don't know. I mean, man, I learned programming at the time where Rust didn't exist. Then I worked at Facebook for a while at a time where Rust was not popular, and it was definitely not a happy coding experience in most languages out there.
I'm just going to say, if you think that Rust is pain, go and do this in C++, and then come back to us.
That's right. I would say, okay, so this being said, so first thing is like, so Rust is it's a high-level language with very strong, like a very strong performance because the memory model is similar to C and C++. So it's a safe. It's kind of what in the old days, like in the 90s, people were looking for a safe version of C or a safe C++. They were never able to do that until Rust happened. So it's really a breakthrough that I think is not enough recognized for what it is. The strong type system of Rust makes you work a bit more. The ownership model makes, it's true that at first you need to learn a lot of things. So it's not a small language. So it's a large language. Now, I think the nice thing about the modern times is that you have AI to help you out with things, and maybe or just tell you what's going on. You write something and it doesn't work, and if the kind of problems you're experiencing are beginner level, the AI might be able to just tell you what to change. So I would say that's a really big advantage of it's really a game changer for languages like Rust that are a bit more difficult to learn than the others, because the AI is so helpful. There's really no reason to invest in a very simple language that's going to be limiting you down the road anymore, in my view. But yeah. But no, you can still be mad at Rust sometimes. We are also mad at Rust. We learned recently about some of the massive foot guns. It's supposed to be a language without foot guns, but when it comes to async programming, oh boy, they created a pretty big ones. And I think we're like the community is some people in the community are just starting to learn how dangerous some of these constructions in async programming, in multi-threading programming in Rust are. So anyway, so that's my take. I just thought about something, by the way, about this. Just going back to the previous question about speed, security, and decentralization.
Yeah.
I just thought, like, because I should mention something that we are arguably the most secure end-to-end secure blockchain out there.
Mm.
And so I thought I should mention that. And why is that? It's because we don't rely on RPC providers in most cases. We thanks to the work notably of for James on the web client, we are running microchains in the web on the client, including a VM that's executing transitions, transactions, and replicating the data of the users locally, so that they don't have to query a third party when it comes to the front ends. Don't have to query a third party. So I would say for any kind of security applications, when you need end-to-end security, which, I mean, my view should be the default, Linera is really standing out. So just wanted to put this out there, because I think that's actually something that people don't realize, that when they use a blockchain, they think they're using a blockchain, but they're using an RPC, and they're using a third-party RPC all the way.
Yep.
Like, just 99% of the time, they are trusting a centralized service.
So I think this is a question that is somewhat related. How can we bring Web 2 data on chain from a prediction market perspective, similar to how an Oracle works?
Yeah. So the well, I mean, that's exactly what an Oracle is, right? From prediction market perspective. Okay, so there are different ways to use Linera. So one is, like, as usual, you have an external Oracle provider that will push data to the prediction markets running on Linera, or you could have the Linera transactions that are posting, just expecting external data to be pushed to them. What we're exploring that is interesting and perhaps unique to Linera is the ability for prediction markets to directly talk to Linera users, because Linera is a system where notifications are native. That means that you from a Linera transactions, you could say, hey, I want to send a message to this user chain. If that user is connected, their front end will receive a notification, and then they can react to that. So you could actually have a network of helpers that you talk to, and you ask them questions. Hey, did you see what do you think about this election? Did he resolve? What is the result? And they could be like really end users or AI agents that are running off chain. They could be running in T or not, if they are staked. And so we think that this social aspect, or this real-time aspect of Linera cross-chain messaging, is very interesting for prediction markets. Did you want to, James, anything else I forgot?
I think that basically covers it.
And okay.
This is about block production and notifications.
So there are two kinds, actually now three kinds of notifications. So a Linera client can subscribe to a certain number of to notifications related to a particular blockchain, and those notifications are a new block is created in that microchain, a message is received in that microchain, and an event is received. No, wait a second. An event is created. There's something about event, but that's the most recent one.
An event is emitted from the so your contract can subscribe to events from other applications, and then that chain will receive notifications whenever those events update.
Yeah. So there's three kind of notifications. But yeah, I guess
now a fourth kind of notification as well that we'll be releasing in a minute. Which is you'll get notifications when when a block has been locally approved before it's been sent out to the validators.
Oh, yeah, that's right. For the web client, that's super helpful. So that allows us to do pre-refresh. I mean, actually refreshing just in time refreshing of the UI. When you we shaved actually a good 100 or 200 millisecond in the end-to-end UI latency for the payments, which is pretty cool.
All right, final question. It's just about timing. Matthew, anything you want to say around the future?
Will the testnet be finished by early next year? I think this question is by that, I think they mean, and then we go mainnet.
Could be.
And we definitely, that's definitely our goal, to finish with testnets in general and switch to mainnet sometime next year, and the earliest the better, but we'll see.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I think that concludes our dev workshop for today. We stay tuned for if there's going to be one. I think next week we're going to do like an AMA on Discord again, similar to how we did last week. So there won't be a formal live stream, but we are here to answer your questions in Discord. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. And join us on Thursday for the community hour. Matthew, James, thank you guys.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Love the questions. Thanks guys.
Everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I mean, everything is just too slow, and we need to adapt.
And that's kind of ridiculous, right? We live in a real-time world.
And I think that's the way that we need to move now.